On January 27th, OSU lost 10 special members of the family. At this time, please join us as we take a moment to remember each of them with a moment of silence.
For the past 9 days, Gallagher-Iba Arena in Stillwater, Oklahoma has been transformed. Transformed from one of college basketball's great arenas to a shrine. The Oklahoma State family and their legions of fans across America have grieved for 10 good men gone too soon. Tonight, this great arena becomes again what it was meant to be. Alive. As you can see, the Cowboys just hit the court, getting ready to go against the Missouri Tigers here tonight as basketball resumes in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This house is in bedlam right now. There's Eddie Sutton making his first appearance on the court to a standing, rousing ovation. It is electric and it is alive here in Stillwater right now. Everybody, I'm Fred White. I'm on Paul Splitort. Paul, over the last 9 days, we've learned all too well what we already knew, that we don't know what the future holds.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen here tonight either. Certainly an emotional night, but the electricity in this crowd tells you that 13,000 people are ready for basketball. They want to see their Cowboy basketball team, and the Cowboys know they're going to need every fan that can jam in here tonight.
We are set to go, Missouri and Oklahoma State. It is basketball night in Gallagher-Iba. The crowd in Gallagher-Iba is standing in anticipation. We're ready to meet the starting lineups for Missouri and Oklahoma State. Let's join public address announcer Larry Reese.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gallagher-Iba Arena. Tonight, remembering our fallen 10, will prove once again this is the rowdiest arena in the country. Tonight's Big 12 matchup, the visiting Missouri Tigers to take on your Oklahoma State University Cowboys. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for the visitors. At forward, a 6'6" freshman from Kansas City, Missouri, number 21, Kareem Rush. At forward, a 6'9" senior from Lagos, Nigeria, number 33, Tajuddin Suyoye. At the center position, a 6'9" freshman from Detroit, Michigan, number 50, Arthur Johnson. At guard, a 6'2" junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, number 4, Clarence Gilbert. And at guard, a 6-foot senior from St. Louis, Missouri, number 12, Brian Grauer. And now, the starting lineup for your Oklahoma State University Cowboys. At forward, a 6'5" sophomore from Liberal, Kansas, number 34, Melvin Sanders. Forward, a 6'7" sophomore from Kansas City, Kansas, number 40, Andre Williams. At the center position, a 6'10" junior from Uppsala, Sweden, number 12, Fredrik Yazir. At guard, a 5'10" sophomore from Kansas City, Kansas, number 5, Victor Williams. And at guard, a 6'1" junior from Madison, number 1, Maurice Baker. Oklahoma State is the Big 12 Conference promotes good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation in supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Preventing racial or sexist comments or other activities.
We're back in Gallagher-Iba Arena. There's Eddie Sutton, the Oklahoma State head coach. Before the game tonight, we had a chance to talk to Missouri coach Quinn Snyder and ask him, is this the toughest game that he's ever had to prepare for?
Yeah, in some ways. It's certainly it's different than any other game we've ever had to prepare for. And myself personally, there's been moments over the course of the last few days where it just strikes you. And the relative significance of the game is apparent. I think with that, though, again, you have to force yourself to prepare as diligently and as hard as you would for any other game. I think those two things can conflict in your mind to the point that you'll acquiesce in the competitive aspect of it, because it is it's belittled by what has happened.
Now, Paul Spudorf, let's take a look at our Dodge keys to the game.
Well, first of all, for the visiting Missouri Tigers, Quinn Snyder in his second year knows that his team needs to balance their offense and get some inside scoring to go along with their outstanding perimeter game, and also rebound. They out-rebounded the Jayhawks their last game, but before that, they had been out-rebounded in 10 consecutive games. And Eddie Sutton, well, he wants his team to direct their emotions to basketball here at Gallagher-Iba tonight. Scared to death about the first 5 minutes of tonight's game and defend the perimeter. The Cowboys are known for their solid defense. They want to match up out on that three-point line against the Tigers tonight.
It should be noted that Oklahoma State today held the last of the 10 funerals. Today was for Will Hancock. Now the emotions have to shift gears, and I think we're coming to the point that we need Bill Kennedy. The ball is in the air, and the Cowboys have first possession. Maurice Baker.
Going to be an outstanding matchup. Clarence Gilbert draws Baker. Baker, one of the leading candidates for newcomer of the year in the Big 12 this season. Great matchup there to open the ball game. Man-to-man coverage by the Tigers.
Andre Williams from Oswego High School in Kansas City. Now, that was Baker with a pop that wouldn't go, and Soyoye drags the rebound down for Missouri. And the Tigers set their defense.
Eddie Sutton is known for his tight man-to-man defense. Guards and small wing players usually come out and flog the ball on the perimeter. Chest-to-chest coverage defensively for O State.
Clarence Gilbert knocks down the first shot of the ball game, and Missouri breaks on top 2-0.
Clarence Gilbert, outstanding shooter for Missouri. Doesn't make a lot of difference whether he's hot or cold. If he sees the shot, he's willing to take it.
Maurice Baker, strong candidate for newcomer of the year. Andre Williams, down in the lane, and John Zian gets fouled.
Frederick John Zian, the leader for this Oklahoma State Cowboys team, the lone starter returning from last season. Oklahoma State lost a number of seniors last year. They lost 70% of their scoring and rebounding. So this is a young Oklahoma State team tonight, but they have played well early on in conference play.
Sean Zian's free throw missed. 6'10" junior from Uppsala, Sweden. Played in the U.S. at Shawnee Mission East High School in Shawnee Mission, Kansas.
There's the foreign exchange student come in that can help your basketball team. Fred, you've got to wonder about the emotions early on in this ballgame. Now, Missouri played a team scrimmage on Friday, brought in officials, lined it up as though they were playing a regular season game. Eddie Sutton has tried to keep that same intensity on his team. They felt like they had a good week of practice, but all the emotions that the Cowboys have had to deal with over the last 9 days, you wonder if they'll fatigue here tonight.
So Yoyo's shot misses. That was Andre Williams with a strong board for the Cowboys.
He has been doing a lot of that recently for Oklahoma State. 33 points, 27 rebounds in his last 2 games, just dominating inside for the Cowboys.
Cowboys attack. Maurice Baker picked up the dribble in a hurry. Now Sanders. Melvin Sanders hands to Victor Williams. Fuller, 3-point try, too strong. The ball slapped all over the place, and Victor Williams got it back. Missed the point-blank shot. Sean Zian in the middle.
Oklahoma State didn't have much working offensively that time. Missouri kind of taking them out of their offense, but doing a good job on the offensive glass. 3 different attempts that time down for Oklahoma State.
So Yeye turns. Now Brower open for 3. Good shooter. Missed that one. Look at Victor Williams go up and get it his second strong rebound. Underneath, that's Sean Zian off the glass.
Transition basketball for Oklahoma State. Missouri got back in decent defensive position, but didn't defend from the paint on out.
Now the crowd really into it here in Gallagher-Iba. The Cowboys up by 3. Gilbert. Rush. Look at Williams go up there again. It's his 3rd rebound, and they've all been strong. In the middle, Sean Sheehan. Right back to Baker. The short one good. And the Cowboys have the start they wanted. They're up by 5. And listen to the crowd. Quinn Snyder getting a timeout in a hurry, and probably a very good one. A 7-0 run for Oklahoma State. The Cowboys are up by 5. 17:01 left in our first half in a very alive Gallagher-Iba.
Every person on this planet.
Gallagher-Iba seating 13,611, twice the old capacity.
Oklahoma State pounding the ball inside. Frederick Johnzian giving up the ball. A little mid-range jumper right there. Oklahoma State on an offensive run right now. 7-0 over the last couple minutes. And Oklahoma State, the last time down, the dump down pass again to Johnzian, beating everybody down the floor. He's got an easy 2 points. Cowboys have a 5-point lead.
Brian Grauer faces Maurice Baker as Missouri attacks. Early shooting here. Oklahoma State putting itself well. Rush that soft little jump shot in the lane.
A little turnaround jumper. Nice floating one-hander. Easily the obvious go-to guy for Missouri.
Johnson facing the basket. Back to Victor Williams. And a transfer from Illinois State University. They left Johnson alone, and he stuck his 7th point of the ball game. 9-4 Oklahoma State.
Johnzian has worked hard to improve his range since last season. Can now step it out to 15 to 16 feet. Just showed you the jump shot from above the line.
Arthur Johnson skipped past Grauer down inside Cirillo. Blocked by Andre Williams. Oh, what a night he's had already. The pass couldn't get there. Maurice Baker tried to get it to Victor Williams and let him a little bit too much. What about Andre Williams in the early going here? We've seen some hops out of that.
Well, he is taking charge in this basketball game inside, especially on the defensive end. Has not been a factor on the offensive end, but just taking charge, making sure that it's just one shot and out for Missouri.
Grauer. Gilbert. Screen there from Johnny Parker. Now Parker put it on the deck and lost it, and the foul is going to be called on Frederick Johnzian, his first. Timeout here, 15:50 left in our first half. 9-4 Oklahoma State, and we're back after this from your friends at Phillips 66, the Performance Company. We are back at Gallagher-Iba, and time now for a Cargill Alumni Achiever. Cheryl Crow, graduate of the University of Missouri. She has won some Grammys. Best New Artist, Best Female Vocalist, Record of the Year, and lots of other things. Cargill, nourishing potential. Cheryl has reached her. Eddie Sutton has to like the start, Paul.
Yeah, he's got to love the emotion that is in this building right now. The focus is back on basketball in Stillwater. And Oklahoma State, his Cowboys off to a great start, leading 9-4. Out rebounding Missouri 6-1. Ray Williams has 3 of those rebounds already for Oklahoma State.
Clarence Gilbert from way outside. No. Johnzian pulls down the rebound. Johnzian 3 for 3 from the floor. Andre Williams has 3 rebounds and a block in the early going here. Johnzian.
Missouri trying to get some pressure out front, trying to get it scrapped, but Oklahoma State doing a nice job of dribbling away from the pressure.
Sanders missed everything that time. Melvin Sanders, a 6'5 sophomore from Liberal, Kansas.
Oklahoma State wants offense out of Sanders, but primarily he's a defensive guy. He normally takes the top scorer from different positions.
Andre Williams, 4th rebound, up to Baker, got it.
If you want to get the running game going, you need to rebound. And who's doing a better job on the glass right now in this conference than Andre Williams?
Well, he's got 4 tonight. Andre averaging 7. Arthur Johnson tried to dump it down inside to Johnny Parker and missed. Missouri's 3rd turnover of the night.
Checking in for the Cowboys, number 14.
Terry Snyder has a job on his hands here, trying to counter the emotion, get his team gathered, and get something positive to happen on their end of the floor.
Yeah, they're still trying to get collected offensively, trying to keep their floor balanced. That time talking to Arthur Johnson about face up to the basket and deliver your pass.
For Oklahoma State, Terrence Crawford has checked in, their first substitution. Baker. Johnzian faces Johnson deep in the corner. To the floor, in the lane, shot no, and Arthur Johnson grabs the board. He was a strong rebounder for Missouri. Averages 8 a game.
You would figure this would be a pretty even matchup up front as far as the rebounding numbers go, Fred, because Oklahoma State really played pretty much without a big center. Nobody on the floor right now. Guys that are out there are more like forwards than they are the center, so this should be a good matchup inside.
Kareem Rush. Johnny Parker backs it out with 11 on the shot clock. This is Stokes.
Stokes is a lefty. He likes to go that way.
And a foul call on Victor Williams. A hand check outside. So the 5'10 sophomore from Wyandotte High School just became eligible this year at Oklahoma State after transferring from Illinois State. We had a terrific freshman year in the Valley. Arthur Johnson's going to get a breather now. And checking in for Missouri for Trayvon Bryant, a 6'9 freshman from Long Beach, California, who just became eligible in December.
Wesley Stokes now the point guard for the Tigers. Missouri plays a little bit faster when he gets on the floor. Now, occasionally he gets out of control, but Oklahoma State a faster pace early on in today's ball game. That's why Stokes is in so early.
Maurice Baker missed a three-point try off the feet from Victor Williams. Rush is going to bring it back. Now Stokes. Rush, who's got some moves down inside. That was Trayvon Bryant that got the ball.
Kareem Rush is what they would call a long strider, even with the ball on the floor, but very quick to the glass, but it's an easy stride, and he kind of burns you without looking like he's all that quick. He's already around the defender. So this is quickness that last time back.
Well, he's about as smooth as it gets on the basketball court.
The smoothness is what tends to lull you to sleep defensively.
Garcia in the lane, and we have a foul called outside as he started his dribble. The foul on Johnny Parker of Missouri. Frederick Johnson has 7 points in this ball game in the early going. So Yoye is back in the game, along with freshman Ricky Paulding for Missouri. Ryan Grauer and Clarence Gilbert sit down.
Oklahoma State lost their last ball game. That was out of Colorado, but they have been playing well recently. They have won 5 out of their last 6 ball games. They broke a 5-game winning streak on their last time out.
Cowboys up by 5 and attacking here. Chauncey in the lane, dumps it down in the corner. Victor Williams knocks down a tray.
When you talk about guard scoring, you think Maurice Baker if you're at Oklahoma State, but Victor Williams, 11.3 points per game, an outstanding perimeter shooter, can also put it on the floor and drive it to the basket.
Cowboys by 8. Stokes. Trayvon Bryant with the ball. Rush is posted up down low. Now he comes out, pops to the top of the circle, gets it, and a little floater in the lane and stuck. Boy, he's so smooth. 4 points, Kareem Rush.
Well, Missouri has shot a lot better on their home floor than they have away from the Hearn Center.
Victor Williams a miss. And Frederick Johnson really unhappy with T.J. Segoye. The officials get between them and split it up. Johnson hit the court, and he got up unhappy.
Let's take a look at Frederick Johnson. He's having things pretty much his own way here early on tonight. Active on the offensive end. There he is, 2 points on the break. Again, now from the top of the circle, he buries that one. So Johnson off to a good start offensively, but not pleased. The last trip down as he was thrown to the floor by T.J. Segoye.
14-8 Oklahoma State. There you see the time left in the first half when Snyder takes Segoye out of the ball game. Now Jason Keith comes into the ball game. He will keep order on the court.
He is an enforcer. He is a junior, 6'10", and about 290 pounds. Mentioned that Oklahoma State had been playing without a center type. They've got a couple big bodies. Jason Keith, one of them, Jack Marlowe, a freshman, 6'11" and 300 pounds is another one. Now, those are low post players, and there you go.
They immediately find Keith, and he was blocked down in there by Arthur Johnson, who had 8 blocks in a game earlier this year. Johnson, a big wide body down in there.
He is the guy that Missouri was missing last year. They're pretty much a perimeter shooting and scoring team last year. Did not have an inside presence.
Shot, no. Victor Williams picks it up on the long rebound. Down the court he goes, and a miss to the foul. Paul, Jason Keith may be Eddie Sutton's statement. If it's going to get rough, here's our guy.
Well, they've also got the quickness out of the guards. You think about all the people that Oklahoma State lost to graduation last year, but they come back with another series of athletes. And here's a pretty good one right there. Victor Williams is taking it coast to coast. The sophomore driving right through the middle of the lane. He can get out and run his team. Oklahoma State always seems to have a lot of athletes out on the perimeter. Victor Williams is a guy you're going to hear a lot of over the next few seasons.
Victor Williams gets it. And we have a timeout here. 11:58 left in our first half. Oklahoma State leading Missouri 15-8. We're at Gallagher-Iba Arena in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and we'll be back.
Get your tickets, 877 all 4.
I am Data.
This game is brought to you by Phillips 66, where we put the best in our super clean gasolines so you get the most out of your car. Think smart. Think performance. Think Phillips 66. Cowboys up 15-8. Missouri. That's the first 2 points in the ball game, and it's been Cowboys since then. There's Jason Keith. A tribute to his fallen friends and teammates. Stokes driving to the bucket. Whoa, he got dunked hard. Stokes went down hard. Landed on his back. And he is in some pain down there right now.
Fred, he was really elevated too. And Oklahoma State a little bit late with the rotation. Stokes had a clear lane to the basket, burns his man out front. There comes the help from the weak side. Stokes right over the top of it. Maurice Baker trying to set up to take away that drive. Turn right now for Wesley Stokes, the freshman out of Long Beach, California.
And in typical fashion, the Oklahoma State guys thought the foul should have gone against Stokes on the charge. Maurice Baker was trying to get there. Now you see probably cracked a crazy bone among other things. He also landed hard on his backside, and they're going to help Wesley Stokes to his feet right now. And he'll get a nice ovation from the fans here.
Fred, you talk to the trainers of these basketball teams. It's getting the time of the year where guys have all taken hits very similar to that, whether it be on the drive to the basket, trying to take the charge, just the normal pounding of everyday college basketball, whether it be practices or games. And the trainers will tell you it's time to spend a little bit more time on the stretching before practice and before the ball game to try to get those muscles stretched out and try to get rid of those bruises.
No surprise here. Brian Grauer comes in to replace Stokes and shoot the free throws. He's an 82% free throw shooter.
And hit some big baskets against Kansas the last time out. 4 of 7 in the threes. And Stokes still in a lot of pain over on the Missouri bench.
He knocked down huge threes down the stretch after Kansas had made an 18-0 run to go in front. Grauer comes right back, gets the next one, the senior from St. Louis. And it's 15-9. Cowboys by 6.
Oklahoma State will show you a 3-out, 2-in look. Normally a high-low look. A high post man and somebody working along on the blocks.
Andre Williams flashes to the high post, gets the ball.
Here showing his own defense. Keep pressure on the ball. Matchup zone a lot of teams have gone to. Keep pressure on the ball and match up everywhere else on the floor.
And it's working. 5 on the shot clock. Now Baker pulls up, fires a 3 that's off target. Johnson rebounds from Mizzou.
Well, that's good coaching by Quinn Snyder. You have to do something to try to change the tempo of the ball game. And Missouri did at that time down by shifting their defense. It took the Cowboys a while to recognize it and then try to adjust to it.
Well, I think the rest of the Missouri club is getting more touches tonight than they have been. It have been Rush and Gilbert.
Oklahoma State has worked very hard defensively to try to take Rush and Gilbert out of the ballgame. That would be a key offensive weapon.
Johnson missed 4 rebounds now for Andre Williams. That's Victor Williams from the deep corner, too strong with the try. We're seeing a lot of shots too strong in the early going. I wonder how much emotion has to do with that. Other end, a block on Ricky Paulding and a foul.
Well, Fred, you figure the emotions might get you a little bit strong for the first 4 or 5 minutes, but you figure now guys would be settling into the tempo of this game. Strong drive to the basket. Ricky Paulding, another one of the young Missouri Tigers. He is a freshman out of Detroit, Michigan. Very athletic player. Slashing type, loves to get it to the glass. He is probably the most active and athletic player that Missouri has.
We welcome those of you joining us on ESPN News. We have 10:32 left in our first half here in Stillwater. Oklahoma State leading Missouri 15-10. The Tigers got the game's first basket. It's been all Cowboys since then, although Missouri keeping it close. Ricky Paulding, a freshman on the line. And it's a 4-point ball game with Oklahoma State in front. Baker brings it up.
One of the problems that Missouri has had this year is getting players to the foul line. They don't shoot many free throws because they're kind of a perimeter team, but they've been able to get there this evening against Oklahoma State.
Now the Cowboys, a turnover. Baker, Paulding, quick shot off the baseline, too strong. Rebound battle for Arthur Johnson, slaps it out. Victor Williams has it for Oklahoma State. Victor Williams has 6 points in this one.
And Oklahoma State again making it happen with transition basketball. Doing a good job on the defensive glass, creating offensive opportunities on the fast break.
Oklahoma State's defense inside, stifling the Missouri attack, and here they go the other way with Maurice Baker. And the crowd here in Gallagher-Iba really roaring their approval of what's happening here. The kick will reset the 35-second clock. Andre Williams, Victor Williams, Sanders, John Sheehan, and Maurice Baker in the lineup right now for Oklahoma State.
This is the 5 that Oklahoma State started the ball game with.
John Sheehan has had it blocked twice down, and Trayvon Bryant takes it away from Mizzou. Lead pass, Ricky Paulding. And the foul at the other end goes against Melvin Sanders of Oklahoma State. 9:39 left in first half action. 6-point lead to Eddie Sutton's ball club. And here's the action.
Well, Ricky Paulding really put in a spark in these Missouri Tigers. Missouri coming out trying to play more up-tempo than what they showed the first 5 or 6 minutes of tonight's ball game, where Oklahoma State had been beating them up and down the floor. Paulding has been a factor here early on tonight.
Ricky Paulding again, a freshman from Detroit. This crowd has really been on fire most of the night here tonight. A roaring welcome for the Cowboys when they took the court. John Sheehan picks the missed free throw up off the floor.
We kind of thought coming in, the basketball team would have to do something to fire up their crowd, but it's kind of been the other way. The fans were ready as soon as the guys in the orange jerseys hit the floor. The fans have given their team a lot of energy tonight.
John Sheehan just stopped and said something to assistant coach Sean Sutton as he came up court, and the Cowboys immediately get a timeout here with 9:24 left in the first half. Whatever John Sheehan had to say to Sean Sutton triggered a quick timeout on the part of the Cowboys.
Missouri had gone to a zone defense that kind of slowed them down. I think they wanted to take another look at it and maybe talk about it.
The Big 12 Conference proudly serves as the host institution for the 2001 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Midwest Regional first and second round in Kansas City's Kemper Arena, March 16th and 18th. For ticket information, simply go to www.big12sports.com and click on the NCAA logo. Big 12 being the host team, area teams like KU, Missouri, Iowa State, and etc. could be assigned to Kansas City. Maybe you should know that the participating teams only get 350 tickets, so maybe you better go to that website and click.
We are into February now, and teams certainly looking at conference championships. They're also looking at possibilities of getting in the NCAA tournament and seeding.
John Sheehan blocked by Arthur Johnson, his second block of the ball game.
Tigers continue to play that zone defense.
3 on the shot clock, and Maurice Baker able to cut one loose. But the horn went off for the 35-second clock, but it touched the rim, so they play on. Down low, Arthur Johnson jump hook in and out. He's had tough shooting hook.
Yeah, he's had a couple good looks at the basket. Those are the shots that Missouri wants him to get. Little baby hook from about 6 to 8 feet. He's got a nice shooting touch, averaging over 9 points per ball game.
Arthur Johnson, a big wide body. The Tigers really need him down inside to become a threat for them. All on the year now. This Missouri team has taken 1,268 shots. Rush and Gilbert have had more than half of them. Need to find other people. That's going to be called a walk. Andre Williams tripped and went to the deck.
Well, one of the things that Arthur Johnson has given Missouri already tonight is he has kind of negated the work of Andre Williams. Williams was taking over this ball game for Oklahoma State. As soon as Arthur Johnson hit the floor, that has been the matchup inside. And Johnson has stood in there and matched him both ends of the floor. Williams hasn't been all that much of a factor since the Missouri freshman hit the floor for Missouri.
Andre Williams, 4 rebounds, 3 of them strong and real quick in this ball game. Victor Williams has a half dozen points. Shanzen has 7. There's Clarence Gilbert back on the floor now. Out inside Arthur Johnson. They're looking inside a lot. Johnson's the man they're looking to, and he's having some tough shooting over there. Foul called against Trayvon Bryant of Missouri.
Well, Fred, Missouri has been able to find their post players because Oklahoma State is pressuring the ball out on the perimeter. That's where they're finding the good long-range shooters from Missouri. So that's opening things up inside for Quinn Snyder's team. They just haven't been able to get many points inside this evening.
Arthur Johnson is 0 for 4 from the floor. He has grabbed 3 rebounds. Now Maurice Baker is going to take a break here. Victor Williams back on the floor for the Cowboys.
Baker doesn't sit down very long. He averages about 37 minutes per game for Oklahoma State.
He is really an athlete. He has 4 points in this ball game. Maurice Baker averaging 20 for the Cowboys. Two of the conference leading scorers within this game. That's Parker missing down inside. Andre Williams. Could be called basket interference.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. It looked like Williams had his hand with the ball in the cylinder. Nice drive to the basket by Terrence Crawford, an athletic freshman for Oklahoma State. Goaltending the call. I believe the official had it right.
He was in the cylinder, it looked like. Brower. Great defense. And Victor Williams. Now Gilbert down low. Trayvon Bryant. Andre Williams, the block. His second. Oh my, was he up there? Woo! Guy's got some hops. And he blocked 2 shots, grabbed the 4 rebounds.
Well, that is blocks number 36 and 37 on the season for Andre Williams. 6'7", but he's playing like he's 6'11".
Victor Williams, Shanzian, deep corner, long try. Crawford off the rim, and the rebound grabbed by Victor Williams. The Cowboys get a fresh clock.
So many times that long-range shot comes out on a long rebound. Oklahoma State was releasing 2 players to get back defensively. The rebound came out so long that one of those players was able to come back and pick it up.
And a foul called as the ball came from Crawford to Shanzian. The foul was called on Johnny Parker of Missouri. And we have a timeout now. 7:03 left in first half action. Here in Stillwater, the Cowboys maintain their lead. They're up 17-12. And we'll be back after this from your friends at Phillips 66, the Performance Company. For you. Here we are back in Gallagher-Iba Arena in Stillwater. Signs for the 10 men aboard the airplane that tragically went down. And the 10 on the patch on the uniform of Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State wears the patch with the number 10 on it. The rest of the conference schools are wearing the armbands with the Big 12 logo and the black and orange of Oklahoma State. Really back out to the man-to-man defense, so Oklahoma State will want to set things up and get into their motion offense.
Andre Williams cutting through the lane was Melvin Sanders. Now to get it to him off the side of the lane, and he sticks at his first 2 points.
Sanders, a mid-range scorer, can step out on the floor a bit, but very quick on the drive to the basket. If he's got the ball, he looks for drive first. He'll pull up with the jumper if you take that drive away from him.
Paul, tonight, Missouri's finding shots for other people, and they're not sticking them. There you are. The shot from Kareem Rush, good. Kareem Rush and Gilbert are 4 for 7. The rest of the Missouri team 1 for 11 tonight. So they're finding the shots for their teammates. They just aren't going down.
And how patient will Gilbert and Rush be, waiting for some of their teammates to light things up now? Missouri has moved the ball around. We talked about them trying to balance out their offense. Has not worked at this point in the ballgame. They've still been able to stay in this thing, trailing by just 4.
19-15 the score with 6:06. Just good news right there. Stokes back on court. Boy, he took a wicked fall on a drive to the bucket a while ago and had to come out of the game. Victor Williams for the Cowboys.
Missouri back in that zone defense.
to John Zian on the rim, won't go. And taken away by Missouri. Here come the Tigers down by just 4.
And a good defensive effort by Arthur Johnson, the freshman, that time for Missouri. Forced John Zian to change his shot inside.
Kareem Rush with a floater, and he's fouled.
It's going the other way. I think it's solid defensive position for Oklahoma State. It's Andre Williams stepping in front, taking the driving lane away from Rush. Two guys from Kansas City, you know they know a lot about each other's game.
That's not the first collision they've ever.
It probably won't be the last one tonight either.
Andre Williams, Kareem Rush, of course, from Pembrokeville. Andre Williams from Schlegel High School in Kansas City, Kansas.
Points in the paint. Missouri has a half a dozen. Oklahoma State has 10.
John Zian, top of the circle. Now Tiger zone defending. Deep corner for Sanders. Good. It's a three. Sanders with 5 quick points for Cowboys. And it's a 7-point lead to Oklahoma State. 5:17 left in the first half. And the crowd getting into it here in Gallagher-Iba.
Oklahoma State, nice job of getting the ball in the middle of that zone defense. That causes it to collapse and open things up on the perimeter.
Stokes. Kareem Rush hit the deck, took the ball. Long, wild try from Clarence Gilbert, and he made it. Oh, what a bucket for Clarence Gilbert, his 5th point.
Looked like it was off balance, looked like it was rushed, under pressure, with 17 seconds left on the shot clock, and he just buried it.
He was going the wrong way, too, jumping out of bounds. 4-point lead, Cowboys. John Zian down the baseline, Williams. Soft shot, won't go. Williams on the deck, Gilbert at the other end. Clarence Gilbert with his 7th point.
Well, again, Missouri getting out on the break and looking down the floor to find one of the Tigers filling the right lane. And Missouri right back in this one. They trail by a pair.
John Zian trying to dig it out of the middle of his own cap. Kareem Rush takes it away. And a foul out on the floor before the shot went up. If you're going to do it, that's not a bad place to do it before he gets the shot away.
Now you want to talk about an off-balance shot. Does not look like a high percentage shot. Rush gives it up to Gilbert. Gilbert on the run, falling away from about 22 feet. He buries it.
That was a second foul, by the way, on Maurice Baker. Nobody in this game really in foul trouble right now. 4:12 left in the first half. And Baker with 2. Eddie Sutton is going to keep him in the ball game. And they had trouble getting in bounds. In fact, they didn't in time.
So many teams play zone defense on that inbound pass under your defensive basket. Oklahoma State goes man-to-man, still able to fight through picks. Got the 5-second call.
5 turnovers now. Quinn Snyder doesn't think that was 5 seconds. He's upset with the call. Cowboys keep the 2-point lead. They've got the ball back. 4 minutes left in the half. Sanders, John Zian takes it into the circle, dumps it back in the corner to Baker. Driving hard to the lane. Now it goes inside. Baker missed. Trayvon Bryant with the board.
Good ball movement that time by Oklahoma State. Got him a good shot. They couldn't hit him.
Gilbert just nailed another one, and we're tied at 22-all. First tie since it was 0-0 now.
A lot of shooters that shoot from long range are streaky. Clarence Gilbert would be one of those guys. He's hit a couple over the last minute and a half.
4 for 5 before the fair Krazinger. Andre Williams, another board, this one off the offensive glass and a jump ball. The possession arrow belongs to Missouri, and the Tigers have an opportunity to take the lead here for the first time since it was 2-0. 3:20 left in you by Southwestern Bell, a member of the SBC Network. Tie ball game. 22-all, and Missouri has possession and a chance to take the lead for the first time since they were up 2-0.
Tigers were in trouble earlier in this ball game, but Clarence Gilbert has gotten hot the last couple minutes for Missouri. There's a 3-pointer. Clarence Gilbert now on the break. He is 4:05 and has gotten Missouri back even in this ball game. And Quinn Snyder kind of surprised, but likes what he sees.
Wow, why not? Here we go at 22-all. 3:13 left in first half action. Stokes, Gilbert, bobbled it, got it back, and Stokes is going to pop a 3-point attempt and knock it down. Wesley Stokes, who was dunked hard on his back earlier in the ballgame with his first bucket of the night. And Missouri's up by 3, 25-22.
And this is an 8-0 Missouri run.
been 5 minutes now since either Maurice Baker or Frederick Johnson has scored for Oklahoma State. 7 minutes. 7 turnovers now, charged to Oklahoma State.
Wesley Stokes with a little trip by the MU bench to get some instructions from Quinn Snyder. What do they want to do offensively?
Well, they look at Kareem Rush. And taken away by Oklahoma State, Maurice Baker. On the wing, Victor Williams flying to the baseline and blocked by Trayvon Bryant. Out front to Gilbert, and Oklahoma State got back. Now, who touched it last? It's going to be Cowboy basketball. Clarence Gilbert doesn't believe it. And he got hit with a tee. He said a little too much to John Higgins, an official.
Well, Fred, Missouri trying to get out and run, but they're pressing it a little bit too much right here. Close call over there in the far corner. Clarence Gilbert thought the call should have gone the other way and a little bit too emphatic with his argument. Teed up right there, so he will sit down and take a little bit of a breather. And Grar comes back into the game for MU.
Missouri huddling over near the scores table.
Well, that's the last thing that Missouri wanted right there. They were on a nice run, had possession of the basketball. Now you get the technical. You give up free throws, you give up points. Oklahoma State will get the ball back.
There's Gilbert on the bench. Maurice Baker knocks them both down. 6 points here for Maurice Baker. And a 1-point lead to Missouri over Oklahoma State with 2.5 left in the first half.
14, Terrence Crawford into the Cowboy lineup.
Terrence Crawford back on the floor now for Oklahoma State. You're looking from high up in the seats here in the newly remodeled Gallagher-Iba. It now seats 13,611. Prior to this year, it was 6,381.
They double the size, but it stays just as noisy.
It certainly is. Crawford. Outside Sanders. Baker to Shanzian down low inside the goal. Turnaround. Andre Williams, no. And the rebound strong to Arthur Johnson of the Tigers.
Frederick Johnson would have a ton of assists already tonight, Fred. He is doing a nice job of passing the ball from the high lane. He is a good ball handler and a good passer, but Oklahoma State has not been able to hit shots recently. See the rebound totals. Missouri down by 7.
Traveling. Missouri turns it over for the 7th time. The turnover's even at 7. A minute 50 left in the first half. Two teams dueling for the lead down the stretch in the first half here. 1:50 to go to the break. 25-24. Missouri, Oklahoma State with the basketball.
Missouri with the turnover right there. Fred, Kareem Rush will create some turnovers because he tries to force things on the offensive end. Had a good game against Texas Tech, but had 7 turnovers in that outing. Missouri went on to win that one late.
15 on the shot clock. They left him alone. He turned it down. Shanzian goes baseline. Tried to throw it inside to Andre Williams. Taken away by Arthur Johnson, who's going to factor in this ball game.
Well, good defensive stand by Missouri. They ran into a double team right there. Double team along the baseline. Shanzian caught in the air with nowhere to go.
Trayvon Bryant got it up softly. It wouldn't fall. And a foul on the rebound. Across the way from us tonight, there's an empty seat for Will Hancock. One of the 10 perished in the crash. Bob Berry replacing Bill Tiggins, the play-by-play announcer at Oklahoma State, who perished in the crash. The flowers there for the missing radio producer engineer. Tom Dorado sitting right next to him, working with a new partner tonight. The Big 12 schools are doing a really nice thing, Paul, as Johnson makes the free throw. Each of the play-by-play men from the other schools in the conference will replace Bill Tiggins for one game and donate their fees to a special fund.
Bill Tiggins has been the play-by-play man for the Oklahoma State Cowboys the last 11 seasons. And I'll tell you, some of the guys this conference is going to run through that chair. Some of the best voices across this country doing college basketball. There's some real talent in this league.
Yes, there is. Bill Tiggins is certainly one of them, and one of the nicest men you'd ever meet. Cowboys by a point. A minute 7 left in the first half, and the crowd on their feet and roaring here in Stillwater.
You know, we were really hoping it would be just like this.
Foul on Victor Williams. It has been a great atmosphere for basketball here tonight. Second foul on Victor Williams. There you see the score and the clock.
Well, Oklahoma State is 7-0 in this building this year. Missouri 5-2 in conference play, have won 2 straight. So So both teams coming to this contest playing well, but have not played in a while.
Welcome again to the ESPN News audience. Joining us here in Stillwater with 59 seconds left in the half, Kareem Rush for Missouri has tied this game at 26-all, his 7th point of the night, and make it 8. He's an 81% free throw shooter. 58 seconds left in the half. Missouri by 1. Now we're getting to a seesaw ball game here. Turnover, number 8. 43 seconds left. Rush going to work on Terrence Crawford. Picked up the dribble and stepped on the baseline. And that would be the 8th turnover for Mizzou. The turnover's even at 8 apiece.
After that turnover, it looked like Missouri had numbers as they came across the timeline. But Kareem Rush decided that he wanted to go ahead and pull it out and try to set things up. He just got a bit of the foot there on the baseline. Official right on top to make the call.
Mizzou tried to get Johnny Parker in the game and couldn't. John Zian, deep corner. Shot from Sanders, no. Rebound, Andre Williams with his 9th board in the first half. What a night he's having.
Oklahoma State can have the last possession if they want it.
And it would appear that they do want it. 10 seconds left in the half. Victor Williams works against Stokes in the lane, tried to throw it for John Zian and threw it away. Kareem Rush off balance, fires it off the side of the rim, and we have come to halftime here in Stillwater, and an excellent first half it has been. 27-26. Missouri leading Oklahoma State as Eddie Sutton takes his Cowboys to the locker room for their halftime talk. We'll be back with our halftime activities from Gallagher-Iba Arena in Stillwater right after you watch this.
Smart, think performance. Think Phillips 66. CSFB Direct. Invest online with CSFB Direct.
Back again in Stillwater, Oklahoma, halftime, and Missouri up by a point, 27-26. And Paul, Bill Kennedy, when the officials took over and said, good ball game, emotional too.
Yeah, emotional early on. Now I think we're set for basketball, Big 12 style. And here at Gallagher-Iba, the fans are in attendance. This place is packed, and we're seeing the scoring leaders right now. Frederick Johnzian, 9 points, leading the way for Oklahoma State. Victor Williams has a half dozen, along with Maurice Baker. Rush, Gilbert, well, not surprised right there, leading the way for Missouri. Missouri would like to get more balance, like to get something going inside. Early on from Lawrence, Kansas. Iowa State off to a good start. That is a ball game. Iowa State swept that series last year, winning both at Ames and in Lawrence.
Georgetown, ranked number 12 in the country, up by 20 over Pitt. Notre Dame beat St. John's by 10. Here we go. Second half, the crowd here in Gallagher-Iba on their feet. John Zian, great feed inside. Andre Williams couldn't find a handle. It'll be called a travel. Well, they had a bucket set up. Andre Williams, who had 9 boards in the first half, couldn't quite find the handle on it. And they really had the set play working.
He had been such a factor on the boards in the first half, not all that much offensively. Both teams start the second half personnel-wise like they started the ball game.
We have a whistle at the other end and a foul. Melvin Sanders picks up the foul. We'll see what the tandems from both sides have been doing. Rush and Gilbert, the leading tandem in the conference, averaging nearly 40 points a ball game. And John Zian, Baker right behind them. There's Rush in the lane. Boy, he said it before, he's smooth. And it bears saying again, 10 points for Kareem Rush.
Well, Kareem Rush actually burned a couple of Cowboys on that drive to the basket. Melvin Sanders had him on the perimeter. He burned him in the first stride and ended up getting it all the way to the goal.
John Zian left hands it up there and missed, but a foul is called as he came roaring down the lane.
Well, you take a look at the Missouri drive right there. Kareem Rush off to a good start. Quick with the ball on the floor. Now, he doesn't always look for the drive, but he shows you that he is very capable of taking it to the glass.
Second foul on T.J. Soyoye. Frederick Johnzian with a miss. 9 points, 6 boards in the first half. 3 for 5 from the free throw line so far tonight, and that one will stick. 10 points for Johnzian. to go with his half dozen rebounds. And he was easily the emotional leader for this team early in the game tonight. Broward. Rush.
Broward, that veteran leadership, taking care of the basketball, running away from the trapping and the pressure that Oklahoma State wants to create.
Aubrey Johnson dumped it down inside to T.J. Soyoye, gets his first bucket of the night. And Missouri with a 4-point lead, their biggest lead so far in this game.
The thing that has helped Missouri this year, they have 4 freshmen in the top 8 on their team, but they don't play like freshmen. Got that interior pass in that last time down by Arthur Johnson.
Shanzian draws a crowd, takes it off the glass and sticks it. And he has a dozen points.
First 2 possessions for Oklahoma State. They try to pound the ball inside. Couldn't get anything going from the perimeter late in the first half. They'd like to get good shots here early in the second.
West facing Sanders, now Grauer. Down low, Johnson wants to move on Shanzian. And nice little touch on the jump shot that time from Arthur Johnson, his first points of the game.
Normally when Johnson gets the ball, Fred, he's got his back to the basket down on the low blocks. Likes to go to that right-hand baby hook, but that time the little soft floating one-hander.
And a quick timeout taken here. Eddie Sutton wanting to make some adjustments here. His team down by 4. We're just underway in the second half. He's talking to Maurice Baker. Eddie Sutton, 11th year here at Oklahoma State, 31st year overall. He has won 672 games. Big 12 women's basketball fans become 1 in a million by supporting the conference's drive to become the first NCAA league to top 1 million in attendance. Join your local institution in the Big 12 Million Fan March by attending a game in your area. And don't forget the 2001 Big 12 Women's Basketball Tournament starting March 6th in Kansas City. For ticket information, go to www.big12sports.com. Cowboy basketball down by 4. Biggest lead Missouri's had all night. 8 has been Oklahoma State's biggest lead. Shanzian at the high post, picks up the dribble, finds Victor Williams deep in the corner. Stop. Time for Victor Williams.
Once Oklahoma State has gotten the ball into the middle of the floor, they have found open shots in the corner from 3-point range. Uncontested. We're not able to hit many late in that first half. We'll start here in the second.
Rush picked up the dribble into the double team, throws it up off the rim. Andre Williams, another board. Shanzian is just kind of acting like the mothership in the middle there, isn't he? He just kind of distributes it around everyone.
You know, and he is kind of the quiet guy who has developed into the leader for this Oklahoma State basketball team. Picked up a lot of minutes last year with a veteran Oklahoma State team. So he is asked to step up and be the leader, be the vocal leader. And there are other players out there that are maybe a little bit more talented, but as you're talking about him, he is kind of the cornerstone of this Oklahoma State team.
He's picked up 4 assists. There's a jumper off the baseline. And he now has 14 points. You mentioned he could have more assists. He does have 4. And now the Cowboys back in front by a point. Soyoye is going to try the shot and get it. 4 points, T.J. Soyoye, the senior from Lagos, Nigeria.
He's averaging about 7 points per ball game this year, Fred, but less than half of that in conference play. Missouri is desperate for him to do some scoring. Starting to step up for the Tigers now.
Sanders, Shanzian way outside. Soyoye comes out to cover. Maurice Baker. Shanzian sets a screen on Rush. Soyoye came out to cover, and now Shanzian all alone at the top of the circle. And he's come down hot in the second half now. He has 16 points in the ball game.
He spent most of that late part of the first half, Fred, looking for the pass first rather than the shot. Now he's come out with the hot hand. Looks like he wants to shoot it.
Seesaw ball game right now.
And an important possession for Missouri. They have been hurt in ball games recently by long, extended runs by their opponents. Kansas took an 18-0 run against them last week. Virginia had a long run. Nebraska.
Gilbert the miss. Victor Williams doing a great defensive job on him right there. 11 rebounds now for Andre Williams. The lock, and Maurice Baker at the other end. 8 points for Baker.
Didn't that used to be Desmond Mason on the break with the high lob? Well, they've changed the names, but the Cowboy style doesn't change.
Not at all. 3-point lead Cowboys, and listen to the crowd. A foul. It was so loud we couldn't hear the whistle. But a foul against Oklahoma State stops the clock here with 15:44 left in this game. 38-35 Oklahoma State. And we'll be right back after this message from your friends at Phillips 66, the Performance Company.
It's exciting. It's the Phillips 66 Shoot for the Loop 2001.
Oklahoma State by 3 with 15:44 left in this ball game.
And Frederick Janzian, the hot hand for Oklahoma State since the start of the second half. The first player to hit the floor before the start of the game. Giving the ovation to the fans as they applauded him and his teammates as they came out for early warm-ups. Janzian being the leader of this team. He has been their leader in the second half as well. 3 of 3 from the floor for Janzian. Out with a quick start.
Here in the second half, and now the ball stripped and battled for it midcourt. Kareem Rush is going to save it.
The OSU run 9-2 over the last 2.5 minutes.
Kareem Rush the miss, but the stick back by Suyoye, who has 6 points, all of them here in the second half.
Just the second offensive rebound of the ball game for Missouri. Oklahoma State had 8 offensive rebounds just in the first half alone.
Arthur Johnson bangs Johnson, and now the foul called late. That might not have been on Johnson. That came down the lane against T.J. Suyoye. So it wasn't Johnson, it was Suyoye. Eddie Sutton across the way talking to one of the officials.
That's 3 fouls on Suyoye, so he's in a bit of trouble right now. Right before that last time out, Melvin Sanders of Oklahoma State picked up his 3rd foul. Now he's been shadowing Kareem Rush all night long, so foul trouble now starting to become a factor for both teams.
Andre Williams missed the lob shot, and back comes Gilbert. Going to pull up and pop it for Missouri and knock it down. It's a 3. Clarence Gilbert has 13 points for the Tigers.
Had the shot and was confident enough to go ahead and take it, even though Missouri had nobody in the area to pick off a rebound.
Andre Williams still hasn't scored, but he's been a big man tonight. He has 10 rebounds, a couple of blocks. Just can't get the first bucket to go. Janzian has been a hot hand. Now he's short with the drive. And Kareem Rush up on the dribble. Going to pull up and fire with 3. Oh, my goodness. Kareem Rush has 13. That just looks too easy, and Eddie Sutton wants a timeout.
Well, he is the type of player you can't let him go off on you, and Eddie Sutton has talked to his team about identifying number 21 when he gets to the offensive end. You've got to be able to shadow him. You know that he's going to set up on the perimeter, and he can absolutely shoot you out of a basketball game single-handedly. Nobody stepping up to take the challenge right there. So he buried it.
But Eddie Sutton didn't like it at all. There's Kareem Rush. What a great shooter he is, averaging 22 points a ball game. Tigers have hit him with an 8-0 run, and Eddie Sutton very animated as he talks to his team at the timeout. Missouri's 5-point lead, their biggest lead of the night. Rush now 5 for 99. Oh, look at the score from Lawrence. Iowa State, Paul, with all those veteran players. They've won in Lawrence before, and they're up by 7 in the first half tonight at Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah, they won last year. A great ball game, an intense ball game coming down the stretch. Iowa State does not have the depth up front that Kansas has. They've got a couple solid players in Paul Shirley, Martine Ramseth, but not a lot of depth off that bench.
We got a goaltending call here on Arthur Johnson. Maurice Baker fired it down inside to Janzian and gave him 2 points as Arthur Johnson called for goaltending. 18 points now for Janzian. And it's a 3-point lead for Missouri as Brian Grauer brings the ball up court with 14-14 left in the game. And a steal by Victor Williams on the run out against Gilbert. Great defense by Gilbert, but the stick back by Maurice Baker. Baker has 10, and it's a 1-point ball game again.
And you see the Oklahoma State style of defense. Pressure defense on the perimeter, denying everything that the offense wants to do.
Jack Marlowe in the game for Oklahoma State. Came out to help on West that time.
Remember, Sanders has 3 fouls as he guards Kareem Rush.
Gilbert against Victor Williams, and Williams playing solid defense, but it's going to be called for a personal foul here. Victor Williams has 3.
Well, you talk about Oklahoma State being a tough, strong-willed defensive team. It takes a lot of attitude and hustle to cover like they do well out on the floor. But you see the pick right there by Victor Williams, the sophomore, quickly to the offensive end. There goes his teammate out front, Maurice Baker. He comes away with the 2 points on the follow. Baker, 7 rebounds per ball game for Oklahoma State. He's just 6 feet tall.
What an athlete he is. Now Rush, Marlowe coming to help, and a foul call. Marlowe's.
We talk about the foul trouble starting to creep into this ball game. Players with 3 fouls, Sanders and Williams for Oklahoma State. Suyoye has 3 for the Tigers.
Check me on Marlowe. There was no foul called on that play. Missouri plays it inbounds. Trayvon Bryant. Now Brower and Baker out all over him. Oklahoma State playing very aggressive man-to-man. Arthur Johnson trying to take the baseline on Marlowe. And now a foul is called.
Marlowe did not play in the first half. Jason Keith got a few minutes on the floor for Oklahoma State. So Marlowe, who has started some ball games this year for the Cowboys, makes his first appearance of the night and draws the whistle.
Inbounds pass to Rush. Almost knocked loose by Baker, and now Brower left alone, knocks it down. Brian Brower's first bucket of the night is a 3, and it's a 4-point lead to the Tigers.
Alert play by Kareem Rush that time, Fred. He drew the double team. It was Brower's man that came over trying to get the steal. He immediately found his open teammate, and Brower buried the shot.
They left Shanzian alone, and he stuck it.
He's got a nice touch from the high lane.
20 points on the night for Frederick Shanzian. Trayvon Bryant, they dared him to shoot it there, didn't do it. Now Rush charges the bucket, tried to flip it inside to Arthur Johnson, knocked away in there by Shanzian. It'll be Tiger basketball. Gower out. Wesley Stokes checks back in for Missouri. Tigers by 4, 12:40 to play. Wesley Stokes, you can't miss him for that Hurricane.
So he has been a solid player. Looks like he's developing nicely for the Tigers. If you look at the games that Missouri has played over the last 3 weeks, Stokes has played his best basketball coming down the stretch against the quality opponents. Something you love to see, especially out of your young players.
Clarence Gilbert made a ball fake, got a shot. Marlowe clears the rebound for the Cowboys, and here they come, down by 2.
Well, Marlowe is a 300-pounder, and you see the bodies just fall off of him when he gathers one in.
One big fella, 7 feet tall, 330 pounds.
Well, he doesn't care whether the orange jerseys or the black jerseys are falling to the floor. He wants to make sure he gets the ball.
Maurice Baker picked up the dribble, needs some help. Shanzian back to Baker on the drive.
So a little give and go. Arthur Johnson had stepped out on the floor, was trying to cover a guard, had a mismatch right there, and they were able to get it all the way to the hoop.
Rush going to make the move on Sanders. Turnaround fadeaway, good. Oh my goodness. Kareem Rush with that fadeaway. How are you going to stop that shot?
Well, I think you could probably take that move to the next level.
Oh boy.
Don't change a thing. Just take it on up to the next level and see what happens.
How are you going to stop it? 15 points, Kareem Rush, 2-point lead, Missouri.
Well, I think you got to get a bigger, more talented player on him, and I'll tell you, Melvin Sanders is about as athletic a guy as you're going to find in this league. That's been a great matchup all night long.
Victor Williams, now Shanzian. They left him alone a moment. Drops it inside Marlowe. Jump hook won't go. Trayvon Bryant had it. Shanzian trying to tie him up. And can't.
Shanzian looks like he's getting a little bit tired right now. Kind of winded for Oklahoma State.
Gilbert left it off to Arthur Johnson. And it's out of bounds to Oklahoma State. They couldn't handle the pass down inside. 48-46 Mizzou. Exactly 11 minutes to play here at Gallagher-Iba Arena in Stillwater. We've got a good one going. Don't go away. Tight ball game.
But we talk about the tough defense being played. Both teams trying to challenge out on the perimeter. A little give and go. Baker taking it all the way to the glass. Helps your shooting percentage if you can get layups, and Eddie Sutton has always talked about shot selection for his Cowboys. Normally one of the highest percentage shooting teams in this league.
Cowboys down 2 with the basketball, 10:52 to play.
We're back in that zone defense. When they have gone to their zone, Oklahoma State has been able to get shots at the baseline.
They tried to lob it to Andre Williams, couldn't get it there. And a whistle and a turnover. 11 turnovers charged to Oklahoma State now. Cowboy coaching staff, Eddie Sutton. 11th year here of his alma mater. Been good everywhere he's been. Kareem Rush wanting to move on Sanders. Help from Chauncey and knocked the ball loose and scrambles after it. Hits the deck right in front of the table. He's all right. Ball stays with Missouri. 20 left on the shot clock. Inbounds to Stokes. He'll direct the traffic. 15 on the shot clock. Rush with his back to the bucket. Facing Sanders now. Takes a baseline. And we have a whistle.
That's going to be number 4 on Sanders.
A touch foul down along the baseline.
I get the feeling right now, if you're a Missouri fan, you're going to see a lot of Kareem Rush. You're going to see a lot of Clarence Gilbert. Those are the go-to guys for the Tigers. They're going to get a lot of touches. They're going to touch it every time down.
Terrence Crawford now replaces Sanders. Here's the play. In the lane, Rush down to Johnson. And Andre Williams got a hand on another one. That would be his third block if he's credited with the block. It is his third. Baker. And a foul.
Okay, this block, Fred, deserves another look. Missouri doing a good job of passing the ball around. There's Arthur Johnson at 6'9", and that shot never had a chance. Andre Williams there with his third block. He was clean all the way.
Maurice Baker on the line with 12 points. 6'1" junior from Granite City, Illinois, just outside St. Louis. The free throw won't fall. So Yoye, Johnny Parker, and Paulding all return from the zoo. Johnson going out of the ball game. Bryant and Gilbert all coming out of the game. So 3 fresh troops in there for Missouri. 10:05 to play. And the miss by Baker. So Yoye chasing it down at the baseline.
Fred, you might figure the Missouri Tigers might have an advantage down the stretch. They have a little bit deeper basketball team right now. And plus, all the emotions that the Cowboys have had over the last 9 days, you got to wonder if that would create some kind of fatigue late in the game. See if their legs give way.
Rush. Donzian comes to get him, and the fadeaway off the baseline comes up short. Loose ball battle to Stokes from Missouri. Deep corner. Rush. Might be happening right now. Another rebound in the zoo, and now the Cowboys get it back. That might have been what you're talking about. They won a loose ball battle. They won a couple of rebound battles. Cowboys down by 3. Baker, Andre Williams, and a foul. Third foul.
Oklahoma State keeping their spacing on the offensive end. Moving the ball around on the perimeter. The backdoor cut, help defense, feed inside to Andre Williams. You will always find him on the low blocks. Any scoring that he does will be done in close.
Third foul on Kareem Rush. He had foul troubles early in the year. Williams, that's his first point of the night. But he has been a terror on the boards here tonight.
Kareem Rush averages 31 minutes per ball game, Fred. Would be a lot higher without the foul problems that he's had this year.
11 rebounds tonight for Andre Williams. 3 blocks. And again, his first point of the night. It's a 1-point ball game. Missouri leading. They have the ball deflected out of bounds by Oklahoma State. 9:11 left in this game in Stillwater, and it has really been a good game tonight. 8 points has been the biggest lead. Stokes, who took a hard fall earlier in the ball game, back in and playing well. And now we have a foul down in the lane. I think they got Frederick Johnson.
I think they got Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford, you're right.
He was working against TJ Soyoye. But I think the conference fans are going to be treated to ball games like this all through the month of February. When you look at the likes of these 2 teams, throw in Oklahoma, Texas, Iowa State, good matchups the rest of the way in this league.
Ricky Paulding, freshman in the lane, trying to create some room, call for a travel. Well, Oklahoma State has a very difficult schedule coming up. You were talking about it before the ball game tonight. Missouri has K-State and Iowa State coming up. But boy, the Cowboys' schedule's tough.
Quick turnarounds for both these teams. They both play on Wednesday night. You mentioned Oklahoma State at Nebraska, at Kansas, next Wednesday against Oklahoma, and then host Texas. Do you see any breathers there?
Not even close. Baker, Crawford. 17 on the shot clock. Janzian at the high post. Moving in the lane against Johnny Parker, and a foul call. Janzian got it on the rim, but wouldn't fall.
Fresh legs matched up against Janzian right there with Parker coming off the bench. Parker was solid against Kansas. Picked up 13 minutes and a big Tiger effort. He had not played much coming into that ball game, but getting more minutes here tonight for MU.
Janzian, 63% free throw shooter. 20 points on the night. Move it 21. 26 is career high.
This is a young Oklahoma State basketball team. They start 2 juniors and 3 sophomores.
Janzian's touch is good. 22 for Janzian, and he has 8 rebounds to go with it. Now Oklahoma State up 1 with 8:30 to play. And the beat goes on in Stillwater. Look at Gilbert. Won't go. Here comes Victor Williams, and Stokes takes it away at the other end. Looking up court for someone to get it to. Nobody there. Takes it into the circle, finds Parker down low. The double team, and the shot good by Johnny Parker.
And he took that shot over Andre Williams, who has been so active inside tonight. Missouri, the previous time down, the long-range shot by Clarence Gilbert. He can get that shot anytime he wants. And I think Quinn Snyder wanted him to work it in a little bit closer, especially that early in the possession.
Now the Tigers by 1. 7:49 to play. Crawford looking for help, decides to shoot it, and it won't go. Andre Williams was up there for the stick back.
I think they're going to give it to Williams. Sayoye, I think, was the player that actually had his hands on the ball. But when you're going up against Andre Williams, just get as high as you can. Oklahoma State got a break there.
Crawford with a deflection, the steal, the drive, and a foul. Huge play. Terrence Crawford with his first bucket of the night, the 6'6" freshman. And the Cowboys up by 3, and the crowd in Gallagher-Iba celebrating. This is some scene, folks.
Early in this season, Eddie Sutton said his team had the ability to defend. Well, he was talking about players like Terrence Crawford, showing you the steal, the jam, and now a free throw.
53-50 Oklahoma State. Janzian keeps it alive, and Stokes takes it away. 7:21 left.
Big time play by the freshman Stokes. Now he's asked to come down and run this Tiger offense.
Victor Williams defended. Now Parker. Bringing Andre Williams out of the lane. Deflection again by Terrence Crawford. Rush picks it up backcourt. 14 left on the shot clock. Rush, a foul. Terrence Crawford picks up the foul. How about the intensity?
Great intensity the last couple of minutes. Oklahoma State with their defense, and Kareem Rush put so much pressure on that defense. Shot clock can be winding down. They're just going to let him go one-on-one and break it down. The battle out there. Crawford with the steal. The jam. Gilbert comes in trying to deny the dunk. Instead, he gives the foul and a free throw to follow.
Now Rush on the line. Knocks it down. 16 points for Kareem Rush tonight. Now Melvin Sanders with 4 fouls is back in the game for Oklahoma State, replacing Terrence Crawford. 17 make that for Kareem Rush. And 18. Well, we have a timeout here. 6:58 left. 1-point ball game, and we're back after this from your friends at Phillips 66, the Performance Company. 6:58 to play and a 1-point lead to Oklahoma State. And let's take a look at the Comfort Inn game summary. All over the score.
We've been treated to great shooting here in the second half. Missouri 54%, Oklahoma State 64% in the second half. Rush Gilbert, their tandem, 30 points tonight. Frederick Janzian, 22 points, 13 in the second half.
Great look there at Gallagher-Iba Arena in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Welcome those of you watching on ESPN News. Capacity crowd over 13,000 here. They're seeing the game. 6:53 to play. Oklahoma State with the ball and a 1-point lead over Missouri in what has been a seesaw battle in the second half. Maurice Baker. Victor Williams brings it back out front for the Cowboys. Janzian sets up at the high post and gets it.
Fred, getting to the stage of the ball game where it really becomes important every possession. Take care of the basketball, get a good shot every time down.
Maurice Baker, long try, good, that's a three. Maurice Baker, the junior from Granite City, Illinois, has 15 points in this game.
Better than a 40% shooter from three-point range is Baker.
Gilbert to miss, look at Victor Williams push it, now the dump off, now Baker another three.
Within a couple feet from his last three-point effort. Tore out the bottom of the net the last two shots.
7-point lead, and the crowd in Gallagher-Iba on their feet and roaring for the Cowboys here. What a ball game. Rush off the baseline. Deflected by Janzian. The Cowboys seem to have found an extra burst of energy. We talked about possible tiring a while ago. Well, they've hit a rush somewhere. There's Grauer back in the ball game, replacing Stokes from Missouri.
And Fred, one of the signs that you see when you start to lose your legs is the inability to shoot from long range.
Rush. Rebound, Andre Williams.
Anytime Missouri need points, you can be sure Kareem Rush will be in the middle of the offense.
13 rebounds make it now for Andre Williams. Oklahoma State, 5:35 to play. They're up by 7. That's Baker. In and out. Strong rebound from Missouri that time for Kareem Rush.
And the last 3 times down for the Cowboys, they have gotten great looks. They've made 2 of 3.
Arthur Johnson. Janzian had a hand on the ball. Johnson feeds Kareem Rush. Oh, he's double teamed, fires it outside. Gilbert from the deep corner, caught it. Clarence Gilbert has 16.
You know, Gilbert got the points right there, but Rush made it all possible with a good move away from the basketball. Got it on the baseline. Defense reacted to him. Pop it back out, get a wide open jumper. Gilbert cashes in.
Gilbert's at 3 out of 7 now from behind the three-point line tonight. Baker, Sanders.
Missouri in that zone defense. Oklahoma State has had success when they get the ball right there to Janzian.
And now we have a timeout taken. What do we have?
Eddie Sutton wanted a timeout. He was right there in the official's ear.
They'll have 13 on the shot clock when they bring it back. 4:48 left in the game. Oklahoma State with the ball and a 4-point lead. The possession arrow belongs to Missouri. Eddie Sutton has been through so many of these wars, but never one quite like this ball. With the plane crash, he's had to call all the families. They've been through 10 funerals here over the weekend. The last one today at 11 o'clock this morning, and now tonight it comes down to all this. And while we have a moment here, let's take a look at the CSFB play of the game.
Well, there have been so many key plays in this game, but one of the key players in this league is Maurice Baker. Long-range jump shot, and then another one from over in the corner. Back-to-back three-pointers for Baker, and that has got the Cowboys on track.
They are up by 4 with 4:48 to play. To reset it for you, 13 seconds left on the shot clock for the Cowboys. And Melvin Sanders, playing with 4 fouls, will inbounds to Baker.
Missouri showed zone. Now they come out in man-to-man pressure.
Baker gets a screen from Andre Williams, takes it down low. Shot off the glass, no. Andre Williams trying to keep it alive. And Rush with the rebound, 1-on-3. And it's going to be a travel call. He was trying to avoid Victor Williams, set in the lane and fall for the travel. And the Cowboys get it back with 4:35 to play.
Well, you can say the numbers weren't to the Tigers' advantage, but when he's got the ball in his hands, you really don't care what the numbers are. He's got a chance to score. Wanted to take it to the glass. He would have liked to have gotten a little more contact. He might have drawn a foul.
Here's what's left. 4 timeouts to Missouri, just 1 for Oklahoma State. Janzian bumped as he takes the shot off the baseline. 4:22 to play, and now every possession seems a little bit bigger than the ones that came before. Janzian to the line.
Good move by Janzian to make himself available and open at the low blocks. Good entry pass. Quick move by Janzian. He'll have free throws.
22 points so far tonight for Janzian. Got the rim, but got the shot.
Oklahoma State not one of the better free throw shooting teams in this league. In fact, they rank 11th in the league at 64% as a team.
Janzian hitting on the count. 61-55 Cowboys, 4:19 to play. And now Missouri with a big possession. Kareem Rush takes a baseline. That ball was touched by Oklahoma State, so it wasn't a travel, but now the miss, and the Cowboys have it. Rush went up, had the ball deflected, so it was not a travel.
Yeah, he can create plays.
Oh, boy.
Looking to create a shot for himself. Didn't happen. He got a wide open look for Grauer in the corner.
In the lane, that is simply a throw going up from Melvin Sanders as he was falling down. 3:48 to play. Mizzou fires it down low. Trayvon Bryant to Grauer. He's open and he can shoot it, and he got it. Brian Grauer, a big bucket for Missouri, his 7th point of the night. And now Missouri takes a timeout. It's a 3-point ball game with 3:42 to play. Quinn Snyder talking to his club.
Well, he wants them to play with poise right now. Going to have to be tough on the defensive end. Brian Grauer, big 3-point shot there. He has hit some clutch shots for Missouri over the last couple weeks. But most of the scoring for Missouri again tonight has been the combination of Gilbert and Rush, and Baker of Oklahoma State. What a matchup we have had here this evening with those talented players.
There you see what the two of them have done, opposing one another here tonight. Frederick Janzian has been the big scorer for Oklahoma State with 24 points, 2 short of his career high. Janzian also has, off the glass tonight, 9 rebounds. What a night he's had. Andre Williams has not scored much, 3 points, but he's at 13 rebounds on the night and a couple of blocks for Oklahoma State. All right, Cowboys have the ball, up by 3, 3:39 to play.
The time of the ball game where coaches talk to their teams and say, defense can be the difference. Make sure you get a good effort each time down. Now, offensively, work the clock if you're Oklahoma State. Force Missouri to expend a lot of energy covering you.
Baker, screen from Janzian, takes it into the lane, dumps it to the corner. Sanders short the shot, or shot is short, rather, excuse me. Now Sanders again, and that one won't go. That would have been huge. A foul was called. Shots in my shorts got mixed up down there. With 3:15 to play, Sanders will go to the line. Just a 52% free throw shooter.
Hey, bad free throw shooter. Game getting very physical. Shot goes up and rebound inside. We've talked about Baker being a great rebounder, better than 7 boards per game, 6 feet tall.
Sanders now, first free throw of the night goes down. He has 6 points. They got them both. Those are big. 3:15 to play, and we have a timeout here. Oklahoma State up by 5. Listen to the crowd. Pistol Pete, the Oklahoma State mascot. His club in front by 5. There you see the clock. 3:15 left in what has been a very, very good basketball game here in Stillwater tonight. Eddie Sutton. He's been through this before, hasn't he? Shooting second half for both sides. Oklahoma State shooting 62%. Missouri 50 in the second half. Oklahoma State up by 3. Missouri ball 3:05 to play in the game. And a whistle blowing as Sanders and Rush got tangled up.
I think they're going to get Andre Williams trying to fight his way through a pick. Great matchup. Kareem Rush working against Melvin Sanders.
We set the whole thing for you. The Tigers have 3 timeouts. The Cowboys 1. There you see the number of fouls they've each committed. Now we got Kareem Rush wanted to shoot the free throws and got caught. It'll be TJ Soyoye. So TJ is 75% foul shooter, not a bad shooter at all. Kareem 81%. Now the officials talking it over. And they're going to confer to see if they've got the right guy or not. Quinn Snyder says no, we have the right guy up there. Now the 3 officials confer.
Yeah, the officials are going to have to talk about this. They got the right foul with Williams in there banging through the picks. But they want to make sure that they get the right shooter to the free throw line.
So they're huddling over our monitor on the far side of the court.
And Missouri likes
some dust, but they can go to the monitor.
Missouri setting picks away from the basketball, trying to free up Rush.
Eddie Sutton, coach on for a while, now decides to talk to his team as they're gathered around their coach, Quinn Snyder. They'll let the officials sort it out.
They've got all 3 of them huddled up over there to give it a good look. The action again away from the basketball. Brian Grauer had the ball out front. Soyoye inside with Williams. Sanders was in there along with Rush.
And as we come back out, it will be Kareem Rush on the line. So Missouri has So Kareem Rush, an 81% shooter, will be up there.
You know, I really like the officiating right there, Fred. It takes a little bit longer, but hey, get the call right, especially in a crucial ball game like this. 3 minutes left in the contest.
It's not nearly as easy, folks, as Kareem Rush makes it look. There you see 19 tonight. Leads the conference in scoring, and he's perfect in 6 tries at the free throw line. 4-point ball game, 3:05 to play.
Now Missouri needs to step up, play the tight defense. Oklahoma State needs to take care of the basketball, work some shot clock, and still, while being patient, get a good look at the basket.
Baker Johnson left all alone. Stop. What a night he has had.
Again, the pick in along the side of the free throw lane. Frees him up at the baseline. He drills it from 12 feet.
Ties his career high at 26. Crowell, baseline to Yoye.
Yoye will not look to score. He'll look to pass first and then do some rebounding.
Rush one-on-one to the deep corner to Gilbert. Off the foot of the rim. Trayvon Bryant had it. And we have a whistle blowing and a foul.
Well, you want to talk about solid defense. You can't give up wide open shots. Check out the movement inside. John Zien going from side to side. Lost his man in the pick. Suyoye caught in the lane. John Zien, an uncontested jumper. He'll hit a high percentage of those night in and night out.
Trayvon Bryant, a 6'9" freshman, has hit just 7 of 24 free throw attempts this year. These are big. 2:24 to play. Missed the first. He'll try the second. 65-60, Oklahoma State with 2:24 to play. Not only the free throw, but a potential rebound becomes very important right here. And he got it. Big free throw for the freshman. Now it's a 4-point game with 2:24 to play. Arthur Johnson back on the floor for Missouri. Trayvon Bryant coming out. From Lawrence, Kansas, Iowa State leading KU by 11 at the half. We talked about Iowa State and all those veteran players, and they're playing very well in Allen tonight. Victor Williams, 21 on the shot clock, 2:10 in the game. Baker fires to John Zien off the baseline, that partially blocked and taken away by Mizzou. Now they're down by 4 with 2 minutes to play. Somebody better come get Grower. They didn't do it, and the shot's in and out. Rebound hustled down by Suyoye at the baseline. And a timeout called by Mizzou before they turned it over. Missouri got the timeout.
30-second timeout.
This Big 12 game has been brought to you by Sonic, America's Drive-In, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball on ESPN+. Phillips 66, where we put the best in our super clean gasoline so you get the most out of your car. Think smart, think performance, think Phillips 66. Shelter for your life, home, car, farm, or business. Shelter Insurance will always be there for you. Bank of America Investment Services Incorporated, proud presenter of the $1 million Beat the Buzzer Challenge. And by Comfort Inn. It's more than a room, it's comfort.
1:53 to play. The crowd in Gallagher-Iba. Mizzou had to burn a timeout to avoid the turnover there. They have 2 left. Oklahoma State has 1. The possession arrow belongs to Mizzou. Missouri ball. Down by 4 with 1:53 to play.
Inbounds pass, you should be able to get a good shot.
Kareem Rush in the lane, off balance, and a foul. And Kareem Rush went down and he's holding his wrist.
And it's his left wrist.
His shooting hand. He's going to try to walk around a little bit and see if he can shake it off here.
They'll check out Kareem Rush with the basketball. Sliding by Sanders out on the perimeter. Williams, the defense, rotating around, trying to take away the drive, but Rush so slick, a little subtle turn of the body to avoid the contact. He'll get the ball up high on the glass, but he'll be at the free throw line.
Let's see if that wrist affects him. 6 for 6 at the line tonight with 20 points. And I started saying no, it didn't. He got it in and it came back out again. That's his first miss. Who's to say? Came back, got that one. Now a 3-point game with 1:50 to play. Gilbert, a little token pressure right here on Maurice Baker. Just going to make him work a little bit. Victor Williams had it taken away. Brian Brower on the drive. Williams trying to catch him, can't. And it's a 1-point ball game.
Brower putting pressure out front that time. Oklahoma State trying to handle it away from the defense. Bobbled the ball. Brower quick to react. He came with the steal in the bucket.
And he has 8 points here in the second half. And the steal by Kareem Rush, but he stepped on the out-of-bounds stripe. Oklahoma State is going to have to take better care of the basketball. They're up by 1 with 1:24 to play. 25 on the shot clock as they bring it inbounds. Melvin Sanders will handle the inbounds pass to Maurice Baker.
Right, good point. Cowboys need to take better care of it. That was kind of unusual, uncommon for Oklahoma State to throw 2 of them away like that.
Baker. Shamsian picks up an errant pass, and now timeout taken by the Oklahoma State bench, but they say, no, we didn't. Oklahoma State said, we didn't call timeout. They'll not be charged with a timeout. They have 1 left. There's 12 seconds on the shot clock, Paul. 12 on the shot clock as they bring it in.
Well,
they will not be charged with their final timeout.
Yeah, Oklahoma State trying to make sure everybody on the floor knows the shot clock situation.
Baker on the drive, and Gilbert fouled him. Clarence Gilbert charged with the foul. 1:07 left in this game. Oklahoma State up by 1. Maurice Baker will go to the free throw line. Maurice Baker with 18 points tonight. Too strong. Rebound. Andre Williams, his 14th rebound tonight. That is huge.
Maybe the biggest player on the floor tonight for either team. And the numbers don't show up in the point total.
Victor Williams off balance and the shot off the rim. Andre Williams has it again. His 15th rebound. 49 seconds left in this game. Oklahoma State by a point. We are down to it in Stillwater, and now a foul call. Clarence Gilbert, that's his 4th. So now we go to the line again, this time with 45.5 seconds remaining. Maurice Baker, who just missed, is back to the line. Foul trouble. They've got some. Both sides.
Not a bad foul for Missouri right there because it came very quickly once the ball got inbounds. But they've got the wrong shooter at the foul line. Going to get the foul early. You'd rather get somebody else who's not quite the free throw shooter.
This could give them a 3-point lead. That extra point is big with the 3-point shot. 45.5 seconds to play. Oklahoma State by 3. Kareem Rush, a great 3-point shooter with the ball. In the lane, turns around, so Yoye is going to take the jump shot. Too strong. He got it back. They go to the deck, and Arthur Johnson got the shot down.
Big-time effort from Soyoye. Johnson just hanging around down low. Got points.
1-point lead. Oklahoma State, they've got the ball. No shot clock. And a foul called outside on Brian Brower. Watch this performance here by Soyoye in the lane.
Soyoye is probably not the first option for taking that shot, but fortunate it came off long. He was able to keep it alive and find Johnson inside.
It's a 1-point game, 23.5 seconds to go. Maurice Baker just hit 2.
Brett Gilbert could not create that foul for Missouri. He has 4 fouls. That's why it took a little longer. Brower had to come up and hack the ball handler.
Maurice Baker on both. He's hit 4 in a row. It's another 3-point lead. 23.5 seconds to play. Kareem Rush, a 3-point shooter with the ball in his hands.
And a lot of time for MU.
Brower, a 3-point shooter. Now Missouri wants timeout, and they get it with 16.8 seconds to play. Now each team has a timeout left. The possession arrow belongs to Missouri. We have 16.8 seconds to play. Missouri has the ball down by 3.
Fred, one of the ways that Missouri will free up their three-point shooters is you take a look at the timeouts left, the fouls. Both teams will be shooting a pair the rest of the way. Missouri wants to get the ball inside and pop it back out to one of the three-point shooters. Either that or they need to set some picks to free up somebody at that perimeter line. Really plays into the defensive strength of Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State so athletic up front, they will be pressuring that three-point line because they know Missouri will be looking for that three-point shot. But at the same time, Oklahoma State cannot foul while somebody's shooting that three-pointer. They'll have 3 free throws.
Tigers tonight, their three-point shooters, Paul. Clarence Gilbert is 3 for 8, Rush 2 for 7, Brower 2 for 4, and Wesley Stokes 1 for 1. Hey, look at that side. Welcome to Gallagher-Iba Arena in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Welcome those of you watching on ESPN tonight. We have 16.8 seconds to play. Oklahoma State leading by 3. Missouri has the ball. And they will arrange their three-point shooters and go for the tie. Each team with 1 timeout. Kareem Rush coming out has 21 points tonight for Missouri.
Rush, Gilbert, Brower, the three-point shooters. Parker's out there along with Johnson.
Sanders will guard the inbounds pass from Rush.
Oklahoma State will play man-to-man.
Back to Rush. Drawing a crowd. Dribbling it. Takes it into the lane for 2. Doesn't get it. Rebound. Oklahoma State, an immediate foul. Melvin Sanders grabbed the board with 8.9 seconds to play. Eddie Sutton with his son Sean as the assistant next to the look at the crowd. It's been an emotional night in here, as you can well imagine. And it's also been one heck of a basketball game. Melvin Sanders, a 52% free throw shooter, 2 for 2 at the line tonight with 7 points. There's another one.
That makes the second free throw a little bit tougher when you come up short on the first one.
3-point lead, 8.9 seconds to play. This is huge. And it doesn't go. Johnson rebound from Mizzou. They have 6 seconds. 5. Brower wants a timeout with 3.4 seconds to play to set up a play.
The last time Missouri had it, they gave the ball to Kareem Rush trying to create and drive. You get 3 points that way, get the basket, get chopped on your way to the basket. If they get inside that three-point line, I would think that Oklahoma State would just back off and go ahead and let them have that shot. Got to pressure out on the perimeter, and you got to make sure you don't foul. With that much pressure, I got to think that there are going to be some screens, some kind of curl cut or a circle cut by Missouri coming across some picks. Just pick your shooter.
3.4 seconds. There's your reset. Oklahoma State has a timeout. Missouri just burned their last one with a foul. It'll be 2 shots for everyone now. Quinn Snyder working to set up the play in the Missouri huddle. They're trying to get him back on the floor. So this is it.
So important to set a solid pick if you're going to free up the shooter.
Brower this time will handle the inbounds pass.
There's still plenty of time for Missouri. 3.4. A long time when you've got the ball this part of the floor.
Sanders is guarding Rush. Brower looking. Throws an inbound. Stolen by Oklahoma State. Sanders had it. Gets it to Maurice Baker. It's over. The Cowboys have won it. What a win for Oklahoma State, for their family, for their friends. The final, Oklahoma State wins it by 3 over Missouri. For Eddie Sutton, win number 673 in his career, and I'm sure none sweeter. The crowd singing their song to their heroes. For Paul Splittorff and our entire crew, Fred White saying thanks for watching. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports television. Thank you for watching.